Hey guys, and welcome back to the Boozy Bookworm. Alright, to start things off, a huge shout out to everyone who followed me or subscribed. Thank you so much. The support means a lot. I thought I was going to do this for no one, so this is really awesome. Secondly, per the request of one of my aunts, I'm going to start reviewing the wine I drink during these things. And then per the request of another aunt, I'm going to match the wine that I drink to the type of book. So with no further ado, let's do this thing. Today I've got a bottle of Bonterra Merlot from 2017. I'm super excited. It's made in California. It's probably really bold to have red wine with a white top. I would give this wine a solid 5 out of 5. It's a pretty good Merlot for $8.99. And I think it will go really well with our book on the docket this evening, which is Twilight by Stephanie Meyer. Okay, so if you don't remember, our books are getting judged on 5 basic criteria: cover design, characters, plot, ending, and the book drop. For anyone who doesn't know, Twilight's about vampires that sparkle. So let's bite right into it. Our main character is Bella Swan, who is this 16, 17-ish year old girl who lives with her mother in Phoenix, Arizona. She is the whitest thing to ever walk the planet. Well, her mommy's got a new boyfriend, so she's gonna go move in with her dad in this town called Forks, Washington, which has a population of like 2. She moves to Forks, Washington with her father, Charlie, and what she's most excited about is that finally she's white enough to fit in. Also, she notes that it rains all of the time. This is where we also find out where Bella gets her awkwardness from. Anyway, so Bella goes to high school. She meets this girl, Jessica. They're friends. It's Anna Kendrick. I don't know. It's weird. One of the first things she does when she gets to high school is go to lunch, where Jessica, her new BFF, shows her from afar the Cullens. There's Edward, Emmett, Jasper, Alice, and Rosalie. And it's weird because Rosalie and Emmett and Jasper and Alice are dating. But Jessica says it's fine because they're not actually siblings. They were adopted by Mr. and Mrs. Cullen. She goes to bio, and the only open seat is next to Edward Cullen. Bella walks down the aisle and he goes like this, as if she repulses him, which is how she takes it. So now she's embarrassed. But that's the only seat available, so she has to sit next to him. And then he books it out of the room. So whatever, time goes on as it tends to, and now Edward starts talking to her. Then one day, we're in the school parking lot, and Bella's just walking to school, and this van almost hits her, and Edward was across the parking lot, and then he's not. Suddenly, he's holding Bella and pushing the van back, and she's like, you were over there across the parking lot by your car. And he's like, no, I wasn't. She was like, yeah, you were. And he's like, you must have hit your head pretty hard. So Bella goes to the hospital, which is where we get to meet Dr. Cullen, who is high-key a DILF. But he's also young, like not much older than Edward, perhaps? Eventually, we meet Jacob Black, who is Taylor Lautner, you know, from Shark Boy and Lava Girl. And he's from this native Quillette tribe, people, group, whatever. They're weird, but in a different way than Edward. Anyway, eventually, based off what Jacob tells her about the cold ones, Bella leads Edward into the woods because she's put enough together. So now they're in the woods, you know, like a smart girl does. And she's all like, I figured you out. And he's like, really? And she's like, how old are you? And he's like, 17. And Bella's like, how long have you been 17? And Edward's like, a while. And so basically she's pegged him for a vampire. We're in their house, right? And by their house, I mean Edward's house. And Bella's meeting all of the Cullens for the first time. And Alice goes, oh, you do smell nice. Which is weird because she's a vampire, and by smells nice, she means like, you smell like Thanksgiving dinner kind of nice. So as you can imagine, there's not many dates Edward can take Bella on, but he can bring her to family baseball. And the thing about vampire baseball is it has to be played during a thunderstorm so that when they hit the ball really hard, no one hears and they think it's just thunder. And what was supposed to be some good old-fashioned family fun turns into a disaster. It's a nightmare because insert 3 bad vampires. Laurent, James, and Victoria drink human blood. Edward and the rest of the Cullens do not. They eat animals because they're ashamed of who they are. So they're like, let's drink the blood of deers or mountain lions or moose. Meese. And so these 3 bad vampires crash the Cullens baseball game, and the Cullens are trying to hide Bella because very clearly you can smell a human. And oh my god, does James smell the human. And James is a tracker, meaning he likes to get hold of a scent and track it until he can kill it. But like, real sweet how the whole Cullen family instantly accepts Bella and they're like about to die for her. Not that they can really, well kinda, but not easily. So now Edward and Bella have to run away together, right? Because James has Bella's scent. And so she has to say goodbye to Charlie. So now this is where shit picks up. Edward and Bella have to flee. Bella stops at home to tell Charlie she has to leave, and Charlie doesn't want to let her leave. So naturally, Charlie's like, did he break up with you? Did he hurt you? And Bella's like, no, Dad. I just don't want to be trapped here in this boring, stupid town like Mom was, and that's why she left you. And Charlie's like, now they have to escape. And Edward is smart enough to know that Bella is not safe if she escapes with him. So she has to escape with Jasper and Alice. Big mistake. James fakes a call from Bella's mother saying like, please help me. Mama. Bella thinks, well, Bella doesn't really think. Bella thinks James has her mother held hostage. He doesn't, but she thinks he does. So she escapes from Alice and Jasper and goes to rescue her mother at the ballet studio. But it was all a setup. James was waiting for her. No mother involved. She shows up to the ballet studio, ill-advised, and without escort. So she's by herself with James, who is a deadly killer of humans. So James and Bella fight, and then eventually the rest showed up, but not in time to save Bella because you see James bit Bella's hand. So in theory, she's about to turn into a vampire. Carlisle points out, Edward, you can save her. Just suck the venom out of her because she was so freshly bitten. Just suck it out of her and save her life. And then she won't be a vampire. And Edward's like, dude, I can't. And Carlisle's like, Edward sucks the blood and venom out of Bella, but he can't stop. Bella wakes up a day or 2 later in the hospital and is like, what the heck happened? And Edward's like, I saved you, but I couldn't stop. Edward is trying to persuade her to break up with him. And she's like, every minute of every day, I get closer to dying, so what does it matter? Bella's like, I want to be a vampire. And Edward's like, no, you don't. You'd hate it. But Alice had promised her, hey, if shit hits the fan, I'll turn you into a vampire. They get to prom night. I'm decently intoxicated. Edward is like, you want to become a vampire right now? And Bella's like, yeah, I do. And she's all like, meanwhile, he just gives her a kiss and is like, you don't want to become a monster right now. And she's like, eventually. So here's the breakdown. Cover design is a 2 out of 5 because this is literally one moment in the whole book. Characters, I'm gonna give a 4 out of 5 to because they're pretty unique, pretty diverse. You have some you hate, some you love, and some you don't know how to feel about. The plot is okay. Most vampire novels, they get like killed with stakes through the heart or die in the sunlight. These vampires sparkle, so I'm gonna give it a 3 out of 5. The ending, I'll give a 4 out of 5 too because you expect her to turn into a vampire, but she doesn't. The book drop. It's kind of hard to give a score to because it could be debated whether it's the dance studio, the baseball game, or the prom scene. So I'm gonna give it a 3 out of 5 because no part of the book made me go, wow. So now for the fun part, math. That's not how math works. It does hurt to be this dumb, in case you were wondering. 16 divided by 5 gives us an average score for this book of a 3.2 out of 5. So there you have it. That is the end of the book and the end of my wine. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. If you haven't yet, please subscribe. I promise it won't be the biggest waste of your time. Also, happy 4th of July. Stay tuned to next time.